It's alive! It's alive!
We accept a one of us.
I kick ass for the Lord.
I want to play a game.
They're here.
It's showtime.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 4 of 3 Basket Cases. I am Jay, and with me, as always, is Frank and Peter. We are the number 3 Basket Cases on all social media and 3basketcases@gmail.com if you want to email us.
Feature film today is Grizzly from 1976. I had the tagline, Jaws with pause, because it's, some might say it's a Jaws ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not so sure about that. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it released in 1976. It had a budget of $750,000, and it earned $39 million worldwide.
Wow.
So it was tremendously successful. It was the most financially successful independent film until that record was broken by Halloween in 1978.
Yep.
So pretty cool. Just going through the cast here, we have Brody Quentin Hooper. We have Kelly, Don, and Scotty. Not to be confused with Jaws. Christopher George, he played a few roles. He was in Pieces, Mortuary, Enter the Ninja. That was Kelly, our Ranger leader. Don, the cowboy, the Vietnam vet, was played by Andrew Prine. Preen. He was in a couple episodes of Freddy's Nightmares, one episode of Married with Children, and he was in The Lords of Salem, the Rob Zombie movie.
Okay.
Scotty, Richard Jekyll. He was in Delta Force 2, Ghetto Blaster, The Colombian Connection, and The Dirty Dozen, The Next Mission. And I think maybe most notably we have Gail, the female park ranger. Played by Vicki Johnson, or Victoria Johnson, who was the Penthouse Pet of the Month in 1976, and the Penthouse Pet of the Year for 1977.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good. And the Grizzly was played by Teddy, who was an 11-foot tall brown bear, the largest brown bear in captivity during that time.
He did a bang-up acting job.
Oh, he was phenomenal. He played an 18-foot bear with ease.
I think he was nominated.
Without a doubt. So we open this movie. The helicopter is flying low over the forest, and we get Don explaining what the national park system is and the importance of protecting national parks, which seems like it was just a PSA for the importance of preserving forests and nature.
And the music in the background sounded like the intro to Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I
thought
it was like a
50s sitcom. I feel like the music was all over. Like if someone rode a horse, it was from a Western theme. If there was something dramatic, it was from a soap opera theme, and the rest of it was 50s sitcom. I couldn't figure the music out at all.
I was thinking like a Disney movie, like a big jovial Disney movie.
Yeah, that too.
But you could tell, like, 70s movies, they eased into the movie. Like that scene where the opening where they're flying over the forest, it was a full 5 minutes. Like, they don't do that in today's movies. This was just like, we're going to get you in the mood, we're going to show a forest, we're going to show the whole forest.
And the 70,000 people in the credits who got shown.
Yes.
Big yellow old sans serif typeface.
Literally everybody in the movie, yep.
Everyone. I think I was in the credits.
So we're at the, we got to see it's a busy time of the year at the Indian Springs Trading Post, and then we meet Kelly and Gail. Kelly, the head of the Forest Rangers, he's giving a debriefing. Largest postseason crowd ever. Not enough Rangers to handle it, so we're already setting the scene here. They're, they're in over their head at this point. Gail, no way we can keep an eye on all these backpackers. And Tom and Gail, the two Rangers, they're trying to get some time alone because clearly they've got something going on.
Gail's the playmate.
What was that?
Playmate? Gail is
Gail is the penthouse pet.
Yeah, definitely is.
Without a doubt. So then we go into the restaurant at this park, I guess, where Allison and her father owns the restaurant. We meet Allison, and she's going through her father's books. It really doesn't play too much into the whole role of the movie or plot of the movie.
So Allison was only in 4 movies her entire career, but apparently they rebooted Grizzly like fairly recently, and then they made a sequel to the reboot, and she wrote the sequel to the reboot.
She wrote it?
Yes. And it's rated a 2.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So
well, the remake, well, there's a sequel that waited 40 years to be released. Like they made it, and then the producer would get it. Like I looked at the producer. Like the producer has the biggest antagonist of the movie is the producer. It's fucking crazy what this guy did, but they made Grizzly 2. From what I understand, he ran off to Mexico with the money, and then it waited 40 years, and then it was released. But it wasn't. I don't think it was a remake. I thought it was the sequel.
So it
wasn't even a sequel. It was a completely independent movie from Grizzly.
Oh, was it?
That they rebranded Grizzly 2, I believe.
That's another one. I think that okay, this is my understanding. I tried to look into it. I couldn't figure it out. There's Grizzly, obviously, and then Grizzly 2, which came out like a year or two later. But they couldn't finish filming it because the producer took the money and split, along with a lot of other shady shit, right? So, 40 years later, someone was like, this movie's got to see the light of day. And they put it together and they released it. But I think in the meantime, there was also maybe a reboot and another something. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, so what I was talking about, I guess, was the one that was released 40 years later, because I'm looking at the trailer right now, and it's clearly made like 40 years ago.
Is it called The Revenge?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it has George Clooney and Charlie Sheen in it.
Shut up.
Come on.
Does?
George Clooney, Laura Dern, and Charlie Sheen, and the character who plays Allison in the first one wrote the movie.
Come on. That's insane.
Yeah.
Although George Clooney was also in another mid-'80s movie, Return to Horror High? 84, I think. But anyhow.
Oh.
I'm sorry, we're derailing Frank. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all very... Anyway. All very confusing, the timeline of Grizzly, too.
The Grizzly lore.
So apparently Allison is supposed to be taking some photos of the park for reasons, and she was supposed to meet Kelly, and she forgot, and he was supposed to show her around the park, and they kind of banter back and forth for a little while, which it's kind of a theme that Kelly and Allison, they kind of go back and forth in nonsensical talk here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Are they dating?
I think they're dating, because at one point they're in the helicopter, and Don asks Kelly about that filly he's been mounting, and Kelly just kind of brushes him off, gives him like a quick glance, and he's like, don't ask me about her. Well, I assume they're knocking boots. So now we go to the 2 girl backpackers. They're in the woods. We go to them, and they're entering their site. They've got a fire going. There's a tent pitched. Tom, the forest ranger, shows up and tells the girls to stay out of trouble, and they tell him that they're leaving. Shortly when it gets dark, they're going to go back down and check in at the ranger station, and after he leaves, we get a little POV. We get bear vision of the bear kind of looking in at the camp at this point, and he hears the girls talking, and he starts moving through the brush, and the girls are going to start cleaning up, and one of the girls has to, I don't know, she's got to take a dump or something in the woods, and she just takes off. And the other girls, like, when it comes to cleaning, you always have to go.
Oh,
And
no,
she
sir.
takes off, you know. And I did read a little a tidbit on IMDb here that there's a novelization that went with this. They gave some backstory to the bear. It came out in '76, and it gives reasons why the bear is so angry. So as a cub, this bear grew like incredibly fast.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother couldn't feed this bear fast enough and just kicked the bear out and exiled the bear. And he had no idea how to like fend for himself at this point. And he ends up hurting his jaw or something like that, or he gets injured. And the only way that he can get food is by attacking animals, people who cannot move quickly and get away from him in a timely manner. And
I guess a fish would be faster than a human. I buy it.
Right. And
what does that have
another
to do
part
with
of
his
it,
jaw, though?
I don't know.
He has to catch slow people because his jaw hurts.
And there was another, right. There's another tidbit that he was attracted to one of the first girls that was killed because she was menstruating.
The bear.
And the bear, the bear was attracted to her from the menstruation. Ackerman was right.
Wow.
So that was in the novelization of Grizzly.
Yeah,
the bears are attracted.
Yeah,
they're attracted to the menstruation. Apparently it's true. So the bear sees the camp.
They do say that in Friday the 13th Part 2. In that movie, all the camp counselors show up, and they said, we get a lot of bears around here, so any of you ladies having your menstrual cycle, please be clean. Maybe it's a thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know.
I think it's just for movies. So the bear sees the campsite. He starts moving in on the girl that is packing up, and she kind of looks over her shoulder, and we see the bear's arm just swinging through the air and rips the girl's arm clear off of her body in one swipe. Just fantastic. She goes flying backwards into the tent. He picks her up and like thrashes her around towards the trees, swipes her, and she just like folds in half. I mean, the bear just kills the shit out of her. It's a great kill.
It was a really good kill without showing most of the bear.
Yeah.
They were very creative about that. So I
agree. With that. And I thought like the point of view of the bear, clearly we know where they got that, but the point of view of the bear was pretty good. I have some questions about the actual bear in the film, in the scenes, but we can get to that later.
Okay.
All right. So June, the other girl, comes back and finds her friend, dead, and she takes off, and the bear is running after her, and she's, going through the middle of the woods, and she finds a shack, which, ironically enough, the first thing I thought when I saw the shack was the shack that Jason was living in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just this rundown shack in the middle of the woods. So I'm like, what is that doing there?
Or like
exact same first thought I had as well.
Or like Hatchet also.
Right.
Yep.
So she thinks she goes into this cabin. She thinks she's safe, and the bear just breaks down the wall. I mean, he's not using a door. He just breaks right through the wall of this cabin, and kills her. And so now we kills her. I think we end with this. Did we end that with a scream that like echoes out over and over again?
I think
we did.
Yeah.
A couple times too many.
Yeah. So now we're back with Kelly, and he's taking Allison out for photography, and they're doing their playful banter bullshit again. And Tom pulls up and tells them that there's a couple of girls missing. They were supposed to check in. So the trucks are pulling in, and Kelly decides he's going to go check on the shack that he sees over there. and he walks in, and June's body falls from the rafters.
Yeah.
So the bear kind of set it up as a jump scare for who would, because I thought bears buried people, but this bear was very Michael Myers, Jason-esque, and where he set her up in the rafters just so she would fall down.
This that too. I was like, what?
Setting up traps.
So they've got a search party now, and they're looking for the other girl, and Allison is taking pictures of the camp. And at this point, why would you assume, like, this has got to be an active crime scene? The person was in the rafters. I mean, yeah, they were all torn up, but they were stuffed into the rafters. Nobody's thinking this is a bear at this point, right? Like, no rational person, not a park ranger, there's no police officers around. Allison is just snapping photos of the campsite. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're
and
just
then
like,
she goes,
oh,
I'm gonna go up and get a better vantage point of the campsite. And then she like runs into the woods downhill. Like, what?
And she runs in and falls down into like a vat of blood.
Yes.
So we found the other girl at this point. I mean, her hand is like up to her elbow in blood. It's just a gore fest. And she's screaming, and that's it.
Yeah, so that one he buried. The bear buried the second girl, or the first girl.
The second girl.
Yeah.
Went all the way back and buried the second girl.
Yes.
And stuffed the first girl up into the rafters. Or stuffed the second girl up into the rafters, I should say. So now Kelly is at the coroner's office, or the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, seems to me that the bears came across a cub and got in the way of its mother. And Kelly said that there's no sign of a cub or a bear anywhere, which, again, this has got to be some sort of an active crime scene, right? I mean, what is Kelly doing at this point? No sign of a bear?
He's just like,
no sign of a cub?
Yeah, that sucks, man.
A person shoved into the rafters of a shack? Everything's pointing to a person. But
yeah,
no.
You're right. You know what? You're out. If I didn't see it myself, that's what I would have thought. It would have been. Actually, the movie might have been better if it was a person than it would be a lot of other movies.
Unless the person was dressed like a grizzly bear.
The person was dressed like there was a person dressed like a bear, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, true.
So the doctor and Kelly, they go back and forth, and Kelly goes, bears don't eat people. And being a forest ranger, I find this to be really naive of him to say something like that. I mean, they very well could. And the doctor was smart enough to say, well, this one did. The doctor has decided it's a bear. And then Kittredge, who is like the what is he, like the head of the park service or something like that?
I have the same problem Jay has. I don't know anyone's name ever. I can't, they're all person with red shirt. I can't.
Yeah, you're way better with names than either of us. I don't even know if you're
waiting until the plot line comes out, so I'm like, oh yeah, that person.
Right.
Well, Kittredge is like he's like the mayor of Amityville, right?
Oh, he's the mayor.
He's like the mayor of the mountain.
Oh yeah, that person.
And he wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, I want answers.
He's pretty pissed at Kelly at this point that he's not in the loop for everything that's been going on.
He's like, hey, when people get eaten by bears, I should probably know about that. They seem to have a past history.
Right.
They're a little. I feel like there was some past history between them.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure out what their conflict was at all. There always was one, but I couldn't really follow it. I mean, you guys seem to have the same objective, same motives.
Right, they just didn't like each other.
Similar job paths, but you're not on the same job where you're not going to step on each other's toes. This should have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right. And he's obviously demanding to know everything that's going on. And he wants a full investigation, and I don't know who he is to be demanding a full investigation into this, but good for him. And he says he's threatening their jobs, but he's really convincing either way. I mean, I don't like this guy from the beginning. Kelly wants to talk to. I hope I make myself clear. He's like, you're loud and clear. Talking. There's a newscast playing about the bear attacks, and the campers are just clearing off the mountain at this point. They're just running down the mountain. It's kind of funny how everybody's just packing up and just jamming down the mountain at the same time. They
all found out about it via radio because it's the 70s.
Right, and then the next day they're all back camping again, but whatever.
So now Kelly is in a ranger's office, and he's looking to talk to Scotty. And he was, it was kind of weird. He was pretending to chew out the operator on the phone, trying to get a hold of Scotty, but he wasn't really. But either way, we meet Scotty, who's out in the field, and he's pissed off because his radio beeps, and it scares off a herd of deer that he's been living with, apparently. And he's dressed like a deer. He's dressed with a deer pelt on him, living with the deer up on the mountain. And
this is our Hooper, right?
Yeah, right. And so he's, apparently some sort of naturalist. He's living with the deer. And Kelly is calling Scotty. And he's saying, the bear killed 2 girls, but it's funny that he buried one. And why would it be funny that he buried one of these girls? Scotty immediately says, it's normal for a bear to cover their kill. And Kittredge is holding, the only person that doesn't seem to know what the hell bears do is the head of the Rangers.
Right.
Is it normal for them to put them on a ceiling?
So he gets Scotty in there, and Kittredge is holding Scotty and Kelly responsible for the happenings of this bear, because apparently Scotty knows every bear on the mountain, and this one slipped by him. So we're back now. We jump again to Kelly and Allison. They're just talking and bantering again, and now Tom and Gail, they finally got some alone time.
Yep.
And they're out looking for this bear, and Gail says, one thing's for sure, he's not around here. Of course, she says that the bear is not around here, and she immediately goes to freshen up under a waterfall. And amazingly enough, we're talking about the Penthouse Pet of the Year, and she doesn't even get naked. She just strips down to her bra and panties in maybe the biggest tease in movie history.
The movie's a PG. Why would you do that?
I also thought it was funny because she's like, I'm going to go soak my feet. And then she takes off her entire uniform.
Yeah, Tom tells her, go take a break. And then she's under a waterfall taking off her uniform. And yeah, the movie's PG, but we've got 6 kills with limbs being ripped off. I mean, I don't know what the standards were in 1976.
I don't think there was a PG-13, so if it wasn't bad enough for R, it was just PG. So you can have limbs being torn off, and it was still a PG movie.
Well, I read that the movie was re-released on VHS many years later. It got an R rating, but from what I read, nothing changed. There was not a single scene added or subtracted. It was the exact same movie, but got an R.
People changed.
10 years later.
Well, I'm just saying that the addition of Gail's titties would have done wonders for this movie.
The movie should have been an X.
Just full on, just straight to X.
But what is it? It's not gaining anything. It's not a. It's. I mean, you know what? It can only help it.
Right.
They're like, we're alone now,
so
and it's just
she's
a
under a
full
waterfall.
on,
The bear
5-minute porn scene.
The bear shows up, just kills them both. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So the bear kills her under the waterfall, and I thought it was pretty cool how the the blood, obviously it turns the water red, and the camera just follows the red blood down the river as it kind of dissipates and like stains the water.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of an effective bit of filmmaking right there. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought it was very well done because they didn't show the kill, but they're like, you know what? We're going to do something kind of smart and clever and we'll make up for it. I'm like, you know what? I'll give you that.
Since it was the 70s, I was like, they probably just used like lead paint or something, but
they killed every trout in that stream.
Yes.
Just fish floating down. So now Kelly is now he's at the restaurant and Allison asks him if he wants another drink, and Kelly just says poor Tom. So Allison's like, he liked her, didn't he? And yeah, I guess Tom did like Gail. So I guess this is how we find out that Kelly knows that Gail has been killed. And then we get a little bit more nonsensical banter between Kelly and Allison. They just do their thing, and Kelly's drinking his sorrows away.
Gail could have. I mean, she probably in cinema history, there's no reason for her to be in this movie at all.
Gail
was a love interest. She didn't interact with the bear. She had no dialogue. She was a photographer who didn't.
Allison, yeah.
Story. There was no reason for her to be in the movie. It was incredible.
You mean Allison? Yeah, Allison was called. Our movie's an hour and 10 minutes, and we need an hour and 30. So let's just add like these conversations in between the bear scenes.
I mean, she was the daughter of the guy who owned the resort, but the resort ended up not being an issue.
There's nothing about the resort.
I thought that was going to come back. Like, we got to keep the beaches open.
And they basically forgot about her for the last 25 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's just gone and not really spoken of again.
Yeah.
That would have been a good death.
Which was great because I didn't really like her too much. So, good riddance.
She felt like she was out of a 50s sitcom. She had like the, I don't know, Doris Day hair or whatnot. I don't know. She seemed out of place.
I didn't mind her, but I didn't mind her like acting or whatever, but like all her scenes were, if you fast forwarded them all, you would have missed nothing of the plot.
Yeah. And she didn't die or get naked, so
yeah.
You know what? I didn't really I don't know. She wasn't the best looking girl, as far as a love interest. So I was kind of like, what is she bringing to the table here? There's not much here.
I thought they were matched. I thought she was fine. Thought that she was a decent looking lady. I don't know.
Yeah, you liked her?
Yeah, I thought she was fine, but
B-.
I just
B-.
I don't know. Probably a D+, so I'll get B- as a bad, whatever. For God's sake.
So now we have the helicopter is taking off, and Kelly is up with Don, looking for the bear. So we enter Don, and Don is giving Kelly all kinds of advice about looking into the bear's patterns. And again, shouldn't Kelly know everything about bears on the mountain as a ranger? Why is this helicopter pilot schooling him on bears?
I think Kelly drinks too much because he seems to know nothing.
Nothing at all. So yeah, this is when Don asks Kelly about that filly he's been riding, and so at this point it's kind of ambiguous, Kelly and Allison's relationship, but apparently they're dating. They're actually a love interest because there's not really anything that would kind of lead you to believe it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So then Kelly tells Don, like, take us down. He sees something, and we meet Scotty for the first time. Because Kelly had thought that it might have been a bear, but it was just Scotty running around the woods. And Scotty gives a full rundown of the bear. He's directly telling the audience, it's not one of our bears. It's a grizzly. This one is like prehistoric. It's like ancient, and it comes from an ancient lineage, and it's at least 15 feet tall. It's over 2,000 pounds. It's just
he's basing that on the height and the depth of the claw marks.
Right. The depth of the claw marks is, he said, between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the movie poster said 18 feet, but whatever.
Well, he said at least 15.
Is
So
he?
he's, he didn't want to give it away. He didn't want to give it away.
Fine.
Is he supposed to be fat? Because he's like eating a sandwich in almost every scene he's in, and
they make mention of it as well.
Who's that?
Scott, the guy who was living with the deer. Like in almost every scene, he's eating a giant sandwich. And
Oh my god, it's true. Remember, they told him to get out of the office. It's like, Scotty, stop eating your sandwich. Get out of the office. And he looks him right in the eye and just continues eating his sandwich. He's like, Scotty, please.
Yeah.
He goes to take another bite, pauses, and leaves. I'm like, this fucking guy's thing with a sandwich. God, I noticed that too.
Didn't he offer Kelly a bite of his sandwich at some point?
Yeah, the only time he wasn't eating, he fell asleep in a chair. So I was wondering if they were trying to play him up as like a fat, lazy guy, but he wasn't fat. So
No, he's pretty active.
yeah,
And he's
so I wasn't
certainly
sure.
not lazy. He wanted to go after the bear all on his own. But he
Right.
does always have a sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Anyway.
So now we're at some sort of a campers party, and everybody's singing, and there's like a couple there, and they're kind of like getting into the mood. Like, seems like this woman goes to like freshen up a bit.
With the
the
weirdest
guy-
looking guy.
Oh yeah, he's bizarre looking, and he's ready. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get laid.
This is the guy with the red hat.
Yeah, who just looks demented.
Yeah.
Like she kisses him and he just makes this weird ass face like he was like overacting so bad. Everybody else was acting fine the whole movie, and this one guy is just over the top acting.
Acting fine-ish.
Yeah,
Okay.
top tier. So this Grizzly rips the tent open where this woman is freshening up, and he grabs this woman, and it looks like he has this woman's arms and legs
Mhm.
like bound behind her back.
Yes.
Like she's hogtied in midair, and she's swinging like left and right, just slamming back and forth. And everybody's freaking out, and like the bear throws her down, her head's cut open, and she's dead. And somebody screams, "Somebody do something," which I laughed at. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That somebody do something.
That was actually
I-
there's some correlations to Jaws, because in Jaws: Revenge, which I just watched a week or two ago, when the banana boat chick is killed off, somebody runs into the water and says, "Somebody do something." And I also read that in Jaws 2, they had the airplane scene, and the producers of Jaws were pissed that this was such a ripoff that they took the helicopter, and put it in the Jaws as a fuck you to Grizzly. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but there's a lot of similarities outside of just the obvious between Grizzly and the Jaws franchise.
If only Grizzly had continued the way Friday the 13th continued after Halloween, we could have had a great rivalry between those two franchises.
Yeah.
I think so. The weird thing about that death, because I watched that, and it was a good death. Like the deaths are pretty decent, they're somewhat imaginative, but the woman gets slammed against a tree, and the bear picked her up and did what you said. But
Yeah.
did you notice she was at exactly a 90-degree angle? They lifted her up at a 90-degree angle
Mhm.
and shot her back and forth at the exact same speed against the tree back and forth. It was entirely implausible. Like, there's no way a bear, like, that doesn't happen in life. Because in one of the Friday the 13th, he picks a chick up in a sleeping bag and he bashes her against a tree. It's messy. Like, this was very geometrical. It's like 90 degrees. Here, there, here, there, here, there. Exact same speed. Drop. Done.
Yeah, well, it was funny because you don't see the bear at all. You just see her body, like Frank said, with her arms and legs kind of like behind her, but clearly like hooked to something.
Yeah, she's definitely on a rigging or maybe a pulley or something. Or
Yeah.
It
looked really funny.
Totally implausible.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that was a great kill too.
Yeah, that was my.
I was like, that looks so just crazy the way she's slamming back and forth. I'm like, completely ridiculous. This bear grabbed her arms and legs from behind, but I'm like, I don't care. That looks great.
That was my third favorite kill in the movie. There was 8 kills.
It was inventive.
Right.
Body count.
If this movie did one thing right, it was the kills, I think.
Yeah. They did.
And
a good
also
job.
wrong. Like it went for it. I wish the budget was another million or two. Like I think they could have. Never mind. You're right. They were fine.
I was just gonna reveal the body count. So the body count for this movie was 8, which is tied for the most that we've done in our 4 episodes with Microwave Massacre.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So they send everybody back to their campsites, which seems kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody get back to your camp. They should have just been like, everybody pack up and leave.
Yes.
But they send everybody back to the campsites where the bear just killed somebody. That doesn't make much sense.
What are the odds of him doing that again? He's probably full now.
Right.
Bodies.
Hey, lightning.
We got some bodies.
Yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice.
Although the guy with the red hat, I found this really odd. I don't know, like the woman was killed. There was this odd scene, and then he runs up to the lead actor and he goes, "Sally really loved me, mister. She really did." It was so odd for him to say that, like he was trying to convince himself, or that she needed a line of dialogue. I don't know. It was almost.
And then he goes over to the ambulance and rides away. So now we're back to Kittredge, the mayor of the mountain, and he said, "I thought you said all the bears were up in the high country," and Kelly says, "I guess he came down." And Kittredge is the park supervisor, and Kelly wants some backup. He's requesting backup from Washington to help with what's going on. And Kittredge doesn't want to blow it out of proportion, so he just wants to kind of handle things in-house.
He doesn't want to blow it out of proportion. There's been, 5 deaths at this point?
Are you going to close the beaches?
So now Kittredge tells Kelly, you've got enough men at your disposal. Either do the job or I will. So now everybody is in the woods hunting this bear. There's hunters with dogs, and they show a no hunting sign, which, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's hunting for this bear.
Yeah, there's like 40 hunters looking for the bear.
Right. A bunch of drunk guys with guns run through the woods. Sounds good.
What could go wrong?
So now this hunter goes through the woods. He comes across a tree that this bear has clawed. He's looking around, and we get bear POV again. And he's looking at the hunter, and the bear surprises the hunter, and he has his gun, but of course, he drops his gun instead of shooting the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes off running. And he jumps down a tree, kind of like a fire station pole. He just kind of slides down the tree. The bear is running after him. And he falls into the river, and he floats down the stream, and he actually gets away. So good job by him.
Yeah.
Even though the bear would probably run him down in like 3 seconds. But
yeah.
Good for him.
But the hunters were certainly all of the fishermen that came out in Jaws to hunt the shark when they put it out in the APB or put an ad in Field and Stream or whatnot, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So Kelly and Kittredge, they kind of go back and forth. They're in the office. Kelly's talking about, I don't know what the hunters are doing out there. Kittredge admits he puts them out there. And Kittredge tells Kelly, "You're a maverick. We don't have room for mavericks around here."
Yeah,
he's got great dialogue.
You're what now? What's happening?
Kelly, these hunters are in my jurisdiction, and I'm going to deal with them how I see fit. It's great. Scotty wake up, tells him to get up. So Tom tells Kelly about the hunter, and now we're back at Kelly and Allison, kind of bantering, back and forth. She wants to come out with him and look for this bear, and
Yawn.
Kelly kind of brushes her off.
Yawn.
Yeah, well, so many times, like you said, Jay. There's 20 minutes of Kelly and Allison just bantering back and forth about nothing.
Yeah.
It adds nothing to the movie.
Nothing.
But,
Nothing.
They needed another 20 minutes.
He cares about her well-being. He doesn't want her to go in the woods, right? Because she might get hurt. Was that it?
Yeah, we don't need 20 minutes.
He wants to go
of that.
photograph.
Yeah.
What is her job, too? What is she photographing for? Like, she's taking pictures of dead body and then birds and then nature and then...
She's like original paparazzi.
So now we have a couple of hunters in the woods, and they're sleeping, and we see the bear POV again, and we're thinking that it's the grizzly, but it happens to be a black bear cub, and they kind of this black bear cub comes up to them. This guy like puts the black bear cub in like a neck lock, and he's like screwing around with this cub, which isn't really a cub. I mean, it's probably 150-pound bear. I mean,
right.
You're not doing that. But they, in their infinite wisdom, they decide we're going to use this bear as bait to get the grizzly to come in. And the grizzly does, because we see the grizzly walk up and just eats this poor black bear cub. Just kills him, eats this cub. Somehow the hunters don't hear anything that's going on. Apparently it was very quick and quiet.
This being the 70s, I actually had to pause it to see if they actually killed the bear. I mean, things were a little loose back then.
They played fast and loose with animal lives.
Because later they used a real deer carcass, so
they did.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
But I think the bear cub was fake. I think, I'm not positive.
Well, when I read about the bear, they use part of they use obviously a real bear, and they started filming in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the shoot took about 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden towards the end, the bear started to get pissed because the bear wants to fucking hibernate.
Mm-hmm.
So the bear was like, although the bear was like very not pissy at all, it was very like tame or whatnot. But they said towards the end of the shoot, they're like, the bear wants to hibernate. We got to wrap this up. It's starting to get kind of cranky.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yep. So now we have Scotty saying that, well, we know that the bear is a he instead of a she, because only the males are cannibalistic, and they'll eat a cub if they're hungry. So at least we have that clarified.
Scotty knows everything. Scotty knows.
Thank God somebody knows something. I mean, between Scotty and Don are the only ones that know anything about anything in this movie.
Yeah.
So he said, the grizzly is going to retrace his route and come back to the scene of the crime. And they want to flush this grizzly out. So Kelly assigns Tom to Arrow Tower. And Tom's pissed because he's going to be left out of the hunt to try to get this grizzly. And, then Scotty tells Kelly and Don that he wants to shoot the bear with a tranquilizer bullet that he's been developing and capture the bear, which doesn't really ever get brought up again.
No.
For the rest of the movie.
No, it doesn't.
He's kind of developing it.
When Hooper went into the cage, they needed that was that part of the plot where Hooper goes into the cage and he's going to put the tranquilizer in the shark. Can I get it? That won't go in there. It was almost line for line.
Perfect. And Don and Scotty go back and forth, and Don is telling him how dumb of an idea it is, and Don tells him the bear wants human flesh, and Scotty says that's ridiculous, and then Don goes into a whole story about a group of man-eating bears and a bunch of Native Americans, and it's told kind of like Friday the 13th. Was it Friday the 13th Part 2, Peter? Where he's telling the legend of Jason in front of the campfire, and it's like slow and dark. And
well, my take on this was, and I actually wrote it down, and I'm going to read it, because my take is that was the USS Indianapolis from Jaws, right? Because you remember in Jaws when Robert Shaw's like, the USS Indianapolis, where all the men fell out of, and there's a secret, and the submarine was hit, and then the tiger shark hits or all the sharks, men go in the water, the sharks take 350 out of them. That was my take on it. So, with that said, if you don't mind, I would like to read it because I thought it was the funniest thing in the entire movie, and I wrote it down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, please don't.
All right, here we go. Well, let me tell you a little story, boy. A long time ago, there was a tribe of Injuns, because he calls them Injuns. You notice that? They're not Indians. They're Injuns. Up here in these woods. They were all lying down in these parts, or something, I can't remember. He's like totally said, he said one line and he can't remember. He didn't even commit to anything, but he can't remember what he said. Anyway, these herd of grizzlies smelt them out. They came in and they ate them. They torn them all up. Little children, sick ones, everyone. There were few braves to go out on the hunt. They came back and the grizzlies turned on them. So there you got yourself a little situation. A whole herd of man-eating grizzlies just running around, tearing up them Injuns. That was his speech. It would have been great to get like Robert Shaw to do it, like from if it is based on the Indianapolis scene, and have him read it and be like, I'm gonna ad lib here. No, Robert, we'd like you to read it exactly as we wrote it. And by the way, you're also an Indian at the end, because at the end he's like, well, how do you know about that? It's like, well, I might have been there as an Indian. Yes, clearly not an Indian. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
But it also it was also very reminiscent of Jaws 2, when the camp counselor is sitting there telling the story of Jason to all of them. Could have been,
yeah. It reminded me of that. I thought it was kind of effective the way he was telling it, and just slowly and like kind of pulling in on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right. It's kind of it's kind of ripping things off a little bit, but I'm like, I'm invested. I like the way the guy's acting. I'm like, I'm in.
I just wish they got Robert Shaw to do it.
So then, Don is, insulting Scotty and asking him if he has a dime to call Scotty's mama to tell his mama that he's making a fool of himself. And, they insult each other. And Kelly tells Scotty, just don't go in the woods alone. And so the next morning, we fast forward, Tom is up in the lookout tower, looking with his binoculars, and he sees the hunters and everybody going down the mountain. And we get bear vision once again. And somehow the hunters have all passed by this bear. They don't notice the 3,000-pound grizzly, the 18-foot tall grizzly in the woods. They all just go by him. And Tom is looking with his binoculars, and he doesn't see this bear. And the bear is directly underneath him. And it roars. And Tom is like, holy shit, there's an 18-foot bear underneath this watchtower.
And 11 foot, but...
No, he was 18. So Kelly calls Tom, and Tom tells him to stay in. We're going to be right there. And the tower is just slamming back and forth, and the bear is moving one board ever so gently, and the whole tower is just slamming back and forth. And the bear, we keep going back and forth between the bear and the top of the tower, and what that bear is doing and what the tower is doing are not matching up at all.
At least they got the bear to do something. I was impressed they got the bear to push wood, yeah.
I was like, the bear was actually in the moment of what's happening. I was like, well done.
Tom shoots at the bear, but he can't hit a 3,000-pound target.
Straight down. Literally straight down.
And the whole tower comes down, and Kelly and the men finally show up, and Tom is dead, and they're too late, and that's that. And Kittredge says, that we fast forward to Kelly is now back with Kittredge again. And Kittredge says, I'm sorry, is there anything I can do? And he actually seems sincere until he like perked up and he said, "Well, why don't you send some flowers?" And you're like, this guy's such a dick. And Kelly tells Kittredge that he has a plan and that the Grizzly keeps coming down the mountain. He shows a map and he's like, he keeps circling and killing and circling and killing. And he explains where the bear is going. And Scotty says we're dealing with a highly intelligent beast. And Kelly tells Kittredge, close the park and give me another crack at him. And Kittredge is like, we are not closing the park. And they start arguing, and Kittredge says, you're removed, you're finished, you're fired, you're done. And
is this where he says, up yours?
Yes, Kelly says, up yours.
So good.
I had that written. I had that written down. Was that like a new insult at the time? Because like everything paused, and then he said, "Up yours." Like it was supposed to be like, "Whoa!" Like can't believe he went there.
He leaned into it, definitely.
Yeah.
I thought this scene was kind of like from like Jaws: The Revenge. They're like, this bear, he's like a damn computer. He knows what we're thinking before we do. He's a highly intelligent. He's one step ahead of us. No.
I think Kittredge at one point says, "Stop giving this animal human qualities."
I agreed with him at that point. He's the Mayor Vaughn, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the antagonist, but I agreed with him there.
He had a good point. So now we're back at the Rangers headquarters, and Kelly's getting drunk, and
Again.
he has a line where he says, "What do hunters know?" And he says, "What do Rangers know about hunting?" And I don't know if that was intentional, if that's the way the line was written, because he was going to say, "What do Rangers know about hunting?" And he was going to say, "What do hunters know about hunting?" And I'm wondering if he just messed the line up, and they decided to just run with it, just keep it, because it sounded like the way a person would screw up a line, like if you or I,
right.
Accidentally misspoke.
Bears are getting cranky.
Wasted.
One take for everything. Bears are getting cranky.
He was drunk, so maybe he was doing "I'm drunk."
Right.
No, it could have been.
Or maybe it was the 70s. He probably was drunk.
So now Kelly tells Scotty to go home and stay out of the forest. Scotty refuses. Tells Kelly he can give up if he wants, but I'm not going to. So now we have maybe the best scene in the entire movie.
Yes.
Where we have the boy in the backyard, and he goes outside the gate, and you think you're going to hear him scream and get killed by this bear.
He went outside
and he
the
opens the
gate
gate back up
because he was playing with a cute little bunny.
Yeah, he went to go get the bunny and bring the bunny back in, and he's got the bunny in his arms to play with it, and he's playing with the bunny, and the bear just fucking appears. That bear just appears.
Yeah.
And grabs that screaming kid right off the ground. And mom comes out and starts beating the bear with a broom, and the bear drops the boy onto the ground, and his fucking left leg is ripped off. And it's just a bloody stump. And it's awesome. It just looks great.
Agreed.
It looked great, and I was just...
It looked so good.
It was nice to see, like... I feel like in the last 20 or so years, like, every kid has to get away. You're not allowed to, like, have a kid be a victim or whatever. So it was nice to just see the stupid kid get his leg ripped off.
Yeah, in most movies, the kid has to be the hero and, like, outsmart NASA, you know? So it is good, like, oh, I'm playing with a bunny, and then I'm ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the bear grabs his mother and, crushes her to death. And now we're outside the emergency room.
The mother, by the way.
Kelly comes out.
The mother, by the way, her IMDb credits are Mother in Grizzly. And she was in one other movie called Last Stop, and her IMDb credits are actress. They didn't even name her character.
Hey, but she's in IMDb, right?
Yeah.
Hey, good for her. So we're outside the emergency room, and where the boy is, presumably. And Kelly comes out and asks Kittredge if the carnival's over. And Kittredge says yes, the park is shut down. And the reporter says, there's a reporter there, and they say, well, people have a right to know about what's going on. And Kelly says only one person can tell it like it is, and that's little Bobby. And he says it, and he's so serious, and it's just little Bobby, and I laughed at it.
It's pulled right from the Jaws scene where all of a sudden like Brody's kid is yanked from the estuary when the estuary death happened, and then Larry shows up at the hospital. He's like, "You got a pen, Larry? You're going to do what you do best and sign this. We're going to hire Quint to kill the shark." That was almost like line for line. That was that.
Allison asks if Bobby's alive, and Kelly just says part of him is. Part of
yes. He was missing a leg, right?
That part of him is dead. I guess the rest of him's all right.
What's funny with the bear is the deaths were a lot of fun, but the it would rip the arms and leg. It was a clean cut, man. I'm thinking if a bear slashed your arm off, it's not like a clean cut. They were all.
It's a powerful bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but that's like sushi grade knife. It could be bone sticking out. The cut would be at a 45-degree angle, but
$750,000 budget. Come
on. So now we're at the ambulance takes off with little Bobby, and we're at Don's helicopter service. And Don says, it feels like we're in Nam all over again. And Kelly says, we'll get him this time. And Don picks up a grenade launcher or a bazooka, and says if this ain't all ironic, and then he goes into a whole story about Vietnam and killing people in Vietnam, and he tells another story.
I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to my mind was starting to wander during these stories. But at this point of the movie, I'm like, I don't want to hear another story.
Yeah, we don't want another plot line.
Yeah.
So now we're out on the mountain. They load up the helicopter, and we're out on the mountain with Scotty. He's on his horse, and Kelly and Don fly overhead. And Kelly says he wants to go home where it's safe, and talking about the bear. And Don says we're going to help him go home. And I guess he meant we're going to help kill him. I guess we're just going to kill him. I guess that's what he was talking about, helping him go home to bear heaven. I guess the helicopter flies over, and the bear stands up and roars at the helicopter. So this bear is pissed off. Yeah. He's pissed at the helicopter.
He wants to hibernate.
He has a vendetta with these guys at this point.
And the music was definitely like, oh shit, it's on. The bear's like 700, yards away on the ground.
The bear knows what's going on. So Don and Kelly, they land, and they're going to set up a bait trap for the bear with a deer carcass that you had previously mentioned, and that's a real deer carcass.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's clearly gutted, and and Don gives Kelly a 30-06 rifle and tells him, use this, and what he has won't cut it, and still, he's schooling him on what type of a rifle would kill a bear. Kelly has no idea what's going on. So they drag the deer over to the tree, and they hoist it up in the air. And Kelly is sitting in the blind, and the bear walks up and sees the deer hanging from the tree. And Kelly, for some reason, kind of worked the action in his rifle, and the bear hears him and just takes off. Mm-hmm. So these guys start chasing this bear, and they're running after Grizzly, and the bear crosses a brook, and Don declares, we've lost him. and they kind of decide to circle back to the helicopter, and they're on their way to the helicopter, and we're with Scotty on his horse, and he's riding through the woods. And then we go back to Don and Kelly, who have made it back to the bait site, and they find that this bear had circled back to the bait site where they hung the deer and took the deer and ate it. So the bear led them away just to get back to the deer. So the bear is pretty smart.
Yeah. Smarter than Kelly.
Definitely.
Than anyone in this movie, or anyone I've
So Kelly and Don, they go back to the helicopter to get some sleep, and Scotty is, he's riding around looking for the grizzly. It's nighttime, so Scotty decides to go to sleep, and he sets up camp. And Don and Kelly, they're setting up a fire, and they're going to sleep in shifts, which seems a lot smarter than Scotty just sleeping on their own.
Yeah.
I have a question, though, about that.
Yeah.
They have a helicopter. Why don't they just go into the helicopter, recline the seats, and sleep in the helicopter? No?
That's pretty...
There's no reason. It's like Mrs. Kintner and Jaws, like, oh, they take a nap. I'm going to go wrapped out in the water. Like, go to your home. And there's no reason why you can't be enclosed in a helicopter and sleep there.
Yeah, you might as well.
I would.
Maybe it was very uncomfortable. They want to stretch out. They want to lay down a little.
They wanted to make some s'mores.
So now it's sunrise, and they made it through the night. Scotty's riding around. He's riding. He comes across a tree with bloody claw marks all over it. He knows the bear is close at this point. He ties his horse, and he inspects the claw marks, and he calls Kelly up and tells him about the deer that he found. He found the deer carcass, and it must have been the one that we gutted and we put up. So he tells Kelly where he is, and Kelly tells him to just get out of there. The bear might come back, and Scotty has the idea that I'm going to tie a rope around the deer and drag it through the woods, and hopefully the grizzly will follow the deer carcass. And that's how I'm going to get him. And we're going to meet halfway, and I'm just going to start coming down the mountain towards you. You guys start coming up the mountain towards me. I'm going to drag this deer carcass. I guess not a great idea. Not good.
From the guy who knew everything the whole movie, and then this is his grand plan at the end.
Right. It's a 3,000-pound, 18-foot bear. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, a semi-assault rifle would have. I mean, just you have it. I mean, whatever you need. Like the three of you have the same objective. Like give everybody the same weapon. Whoever sees the bear, shoot the bear with that weapon. Why do you have to have it follow you on a horse for 48 miles to get to the weapon, right?
Right, and then mind you, Scotty wants to tranquilize this bear with a magic bullet.
I thought that he gave up on that.
That he's been developing. No, I don't think he ever gave up on the plan.
Why doesn't he want to kill it? I forget.
Reasons.
Yeah, there's no real clear reason. He just wants to. Yeah, reasons. He wants to tranquilize it.
Maybe he's a naturalist.
Yeah.
Maybe it's what Hoover. Yeah. I don't know.
So now this grizzly shows up out of nowhere, roars, and takes one swipe at the horse's head, and takes the horse's head clean off. And it was so good because he swipes the head of that horse off, and then they show the camera shot of the horse's hooves kind of like going back and forth. He cut that horse's head off so quickly that horse's body didn't even realize it was dead. It was awesome. Still kind of like trotting and moving around headless before it falls over and throws Scotty to the ground.
I actually had to again rewind it to see if they actually killed the horse. I don't think they did.
So Scotty falls down. He loses his gun, as is a common theme. And he starts crawling. And he rolls over and he sees the bear, and the bear takes a swipe at him, and he hits him, and there's some really shitty blood on Scotty's head.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like for all the animal kills and the leg kills and stuff like that, they spared no expense. But when it came to people's like head wounds,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like they squirted Tabasco sauce on their forehead.
It's like bright red.
And it looked terrible.
It was bright.
And so now Scotty we don't know if he's, I guess we're presuming he's dead.
Yeah.
We're supposed to presume he's dead. And Kelly and Don they're in the helicopter flying, and we show Scotty get thrown into a hole by the bear, and the bear starts covering him with dirt, which is clearly somebody with a shovel, just kind of flinging some dirt on top of him. And Scotty is all covered in a shallow grave, and then his hand moves, and it's like, oh shit, Scotty's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he wakes up and he kind of looks around. He pulls himself out of the grave, and he's like kneeling, and then he hears the bear growl, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees the bear on its hind legs, and the bear is roaring at him. And the look on his face is of just utter defeat. Like he just looks and he's like, fuck. And he's like, that's it.
I gotta say, I haven't seen that before with it's like the movie trope where you think that one of the stars dies and they're not really dead. But then he comes back and he immediately dies again, which I thought was pretty funny.
Did he
Yeah,
die?
that was good.
Did he die?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got mauled like that second time.
Weird that I don't know that.
Yeah,
because wasn't it Hooper and Jaws where he's in the shark cage? And you think he's dead, and then he's actually alive at the end of the movie?
Okay, and then they killed him. You know what? I ran to the bathroom for a second. I guess I thought that he might have been alive.
No, he gets killed.
No, he got mauled like the second he recovered. He just stood up
Yeah,
and then got killed
as
again.
soon as he got out of the grave, the bear was right there. How he didn't notice the bear standing there when he got out? Because the bear was there in like 2 seconds.
He didn't even wait for the bear to leave the vicinity before he like got up.
And the look on his face was so good.
I thought he was.
It was just like.
I thought he was going to be the one that killed the bear. The whole movie, I thought he was going to be the one that killed the bear.
Yeah, I did too.
Because he knew everything. I thought he was going to be the one. He was the lone guy. He was like the rebel. I thought he was going to be the hero.
But he was the Quint. Quint didn't kill the shark.
No, I think Don was Quint.
Oh, I get the names confused. Never mind.
Yeah, Don was the cowboy. Anyway, so that was great. The screen kind of blurs.
Oh no, you're right. Never mind.
So the screen kind of blurs, and we're led to assume his fate at this point. And we're with Don and Kelly again, and they walk up and they find Scotty's dead body. Don throws his gun down in disgust. And how are we getting them back? We're going to radio the coordinates and get somebody will come grab his body. And Kelly and Don take off in the helicopter, and they're still searching for this bear. And they kind of, they're sharing a moment, whatever. And Don says the bear is going to go back to his first kill. And he's programmed like some kind of damned computer. And then immediately after he says that, they spot the grizzly. So he wasn't going back to his first kill, I guess. He was just sticking around.
Yeah.
The bear is on his hind legs, and the bear is pissed.
Yeah.
He's roaring at this helicopter. He wants to fuck that helicopter up.
That's the bear's only trick, honestly.
Oh, yeah, he hates him.
Goes on his hind legs.
And they bring the helicopter right down on him. The grizzly's on the run, and they're chasing him in the helicopter.
And this goes on for a while. It's just shot of the bear running, shot of the helicopter, shot of the bear running, shot of the helicopter.
But then he says, "Can you get a little?" No, there's a downdraft, and a second later he lands. But
and I think Don says something about get the rocket launchers. Just get the rocket launcher and blast them while you're up in the air. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Kelly tells Don to put the helicopter down, and Don puts the helicopter down. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, Why wouldn't you just buzz him with the helicopter and shoot him with the freaking bazooka?
Right.
Like, what the hell are you guys thinking? So they get down, and the Grizzly spins the whole helicopter around. Like, as soon as they're down on the ground, the Grizzly is right fucking there. Spins that helicopter around. And Don had already taken his seatbelt off, and he gets thrown out. And he's got his rifle. And, Don, puts a couple rounds into the bear, like shoots him. But he shoots the rifle like he's never shot a rifle before in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's shooting this rifle from the hip. He's not even aiming. He's just fucking shooting. And he shoots at him twice. And then he spins the rifle around like it's a club. And he's going to like try to beat the bear to death with the back end of this rifle.
Yeah, he was out of bullets.
And the Grizzly just,
he brought two
Grizzly
bullets.
just charged.
He brought 2 bullets. He's like, well, if these 2 bullets don't kill him, I'm just going to whack him in the head with the barrel of this gun.
Yeah, it's surely going to work.
Always have a backup plan.
So the Grizzly charges Don, and Kelly is shooting this Grizzly. And I counted, Kelly shoots the Grizzly 7 times. And the Grizzly is not slowing down.
Well,
It just grabs Don.
Knowing Kelly, he missed every shot.
But also, they couldn't have, at this point, it's the real bear. They couldn't train the bear to show what a bullet might do to it. I mean, the bear has one signature move. It goes up,
Yeah.
and then it goes down. That's it. So it doesn't do like, oh, I was shot in the back.
Yeah, they couldn't put like exploding blood packets on his back. That probably would have pissed him off a little.
Poked it from behind.
Well, I mean, hear me out. It's 1976. They could have just killed the bear.
I'm surprised they didn't, to be honest.
Well, nobody would have been.
I've never seen a horror movie where the bazooka wouldn't end the movie on the opening credits. I mean, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, the fucking first victim. Here's a bazooka. There's a bear. Poof, done. Roll credits.
Yeah, they all should have had bazookas.
Well,
Poor Tom in that tower should have had a bazooka.
Yeah, or anything, or give him like lava, anything. Like, do something.
Give him lava.
Give him molten lava and just drop it on the bear.
So, all I can think is the lava just going down this bear.
There's a scene where he's got a giant cauldron. There's like 10 of them. There's a cauldron of lava through the woods.
There needs to be more movies resolved with lava.
Just roll credits.
I think even the Terrifier clown can be ended with lava. Oh.
Oh, God.
But a jackass who doesn't know how to fire a rifle is not going to do a thing. And they can't even hold it. Like,
well, if he can't fire a rifle, what do you think he's going to do with a bunch of lava? He's just melt himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Accidentally pours it on himself.
Yeah, exactly.
4 or 5 of the deaths are someone accidentally falling in lava, or like someone drinking it because they don't know it's lava. Patent pending. I think we have a horror movie.
Yeah. If we write a movie, it's definitely going to be about lava.
So the bear kills Don. The bear grabs Don and just crushes him to death. And Kelly grabs the grenade launcher, bazooka, whatever, and the Grizzly is advancing towards him. And he gets up on his hind legs and he roars at Kelly, and Kelly fires this grenade launcher and fucking like vaporizes this bear. There's like this shock wave that goes out like 20 feet, and this bear explodes into a million pieces. There's blood and bear guts everywhere. There's nothing left but like a fiery pit of bear carcass after this. I mean, what a great kill.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
Yeah,
I wonder where they got that idea.
So now, they show Don's dead body, and Kelly wipes his face, and he walks over to his dead friend, and he walks right by the burning remnants of bear, and he kneels down next to Don's body, and roll credits. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny too. The fire, it was kind of like clearly they just sort of like put a lot of gasoline in a straight line. So like where the bear was, it was just sort of like a 10-foot by 8-inch line of fire. You know what I'm saying? Where the bear was blown up because they had to have a contained fire there.
Right. All right. Well, good job, Frank. You guys want any other final thoughts, or do you want to jump right into the rankings?
The rankings.
All right, out of 5.
I can give final thoughts with rankings.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, because I agree.
Out of 1 out of 5 bear claws.
Bear claws. How about ripped off boy limbs?
Bobby's legs.
Bobby's legs.
1 out of 5 Bobby.
Yeah, let's do Bobby's legs.
Okay.
Let's right to our legs. I don't want to go first, man. I have to think about this.
All right, I'll go first.
All right.
This movie is has a lot of nostalgia factor for me. I saw this movie when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They had it was on TV all the time, and they had all the kills were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this has a lot of nostalgia. I like all the characters except for Allison, who we didn't talk about for the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Don. I love Scotty. Kelly is an idiot, but I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Kittredge is a good bad guy. The kills, there's like 5 kills that are just really memorable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the bear getting killed, great.
Mm-hmm.
The horse head, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The way they shot that. The girl getting her arm ripped off. Not even a kill, but the boy getting his leg ripped off. Tom's kill was funny. There's a lot. The movie has a lot of memorable moments. And as far as, it's a Jaws ripoff, but they did a good job. 3.75.
Wow.
Wow. What did you give Hereditary again?
4.2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would watch Grizzly 9 times out of 10 over Hereditary.
Okay, that's fair.
If you were like, hey, let's watch Grizzly or Hereditary, I'm gonna have a better time with Grizzly all day.
That's fair. That's fair. Yep.
All right, Jay, you want to go or you want me to go?
You could go.
All right. The reason why, Frank, I wanted you to go first was because I was curious if you would mention this, and you did. Like, whatever reason, have never seen this movie.
Me neither.
So
Me
it
neither.
doesn't have the nostalgia factor for me, which I know
Sure.
horror movies from your kid is there, and it's a factor, and like you want to watch it because it brings you back. So I didn't have that, but at the same time, like the style of movie it was, and the year it was shot and how it was shot brought me back enough. I think that it was definitely a ripoff of Jaws, but I'm not a film critic. Whatever, I don't really care. It was, was entertaining. It was kind of funny. It's kind of like if somebody made Jaws, but like all the characters had 12 beers, right? So like nobody's decisions made sense. Nobody's motives were lined up. Like nobody knew what they were doing or why. They were like, it's like your drunkest best friend or your drunkest friend going through a movie. Nothing made sense. But the kills were imaginative. There was enough of them. I would say I'm going to give this a 2.2.
Okay.
Bobby legs.
Okay. That's fair.
It wasn't good and it wasn't bad enough to be, although Riff Tracks did this movie, so it is bad enough, but I don't know. It had redeeming values of it. It had redeeming qualities, but it wasn't quite there for me. But I did enjoy it. Will I watch it again? I don't know.
All right. Yeah, going to your some of their decisions didn't make sense when they set up the bait. The deer carcass for bait. They decided to do that at night. Seemed like maybe you'd want to do that during the day. You know, if you're
Right.
hunting.
And
But
day and night also switched. Like they'd be like, "Oh, it's gonna be night soon," and it was like the morning, or like all of a sudden it was afternoon, and like 30 seconds later it was pitch black. You know,
yeah.
would have been the woods. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say there was a good amount of kills. It was 8. They were creative, especially with the fact that it was about a bear and they couldn't use an actual bear. So I thought they were very creative in the way they did them. They were different enough. I thought most of the interlude scenes were really boring, so I had to dock them for that. Like all that 20 minutes of the Allison scenes, even some of the talking to the foil, I guess you'd call them. Like some of those were, whatever. So overall, I would give it a 2.5. I enjoyed it, but I thought it was a little like kill, boring talking scene, kill, boring talking scene. So like, I thought it picked up a little towards the end, but like I said, I know we live in a day and age where if it's not a 4 or 5, people think you hate it. I'm rating it in the middle, which is like average. I thought it was fine.
Would you watch it again?
Probably not, and it's not because I disliked it. It's just because my movie backlog is like in the triple digits at this point. So to rewatch any movie, I would probably have to like really like it.
Yeah, definitely the nostalgia factor is heavy with this one for me.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I'll have at least one of those at some point. You grew up with a movie, you definitely rate it higher than, like if we did Short Circuit, I would probably give it like a 4 because I just love that movie as a kid. Johnny Five is alive. Okay, so yeah, no, good pick, Frank. We definitely had a lot of good conversations on that one. And Peter, it's your turn to pick a movie.
Yes, it is. All right. So I decided that I'm going to go with one of the most popular franchises in movie history, and also my favorite franchise. But I decided to choose the redheaded stepchild of that franchise.
Okay.
So I am choosing Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Okay.
A lot of people don't like it because of the ending and because of the whole new beginning part, but is it a good movie? I also have, as this is my favorite franchise, I have a lot of, behind the scenes random trivia on this that you might not know unless you have the internet, but I enjoy it.
Cool. All right.
That is it. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning is the next one.
I don't think I've seen this in like 30 years, so this is going to be all pretty much fresh for me.
It's got some nostalgia factor for me as well, but I'm not giving away whether I like it or not yet.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to it.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie. But
I know I've only seen it once.
Also my favorite franchise. But yeah, I'm not going to give it away whether I like it or not.
Me neither, and I feel like I almost feel like kind of a dick because it would have been. I feel like I pushed back some of the other ones for a while. Like it would have been good to do, the original, but there's plenty of movies to do. We can get around.
Yeah,
but we're doing Part 5.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
For better or worse.
All right. So again, we are 3 Basket Cases on all social media. The number 3 Basket Cases and 3 Basket Cases podcast at gmail.com. Like and subscribe and tell your friends, spread the word, and we will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to have an interview coming up also, so look forward to that. And it'll either be a separate episode or it'll be after the Friday the 13th review. Not sure yet, but both of those things are coming up soon. So yeah, that's it. Good talk, guys, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody.